Hello and welcome everybody, it's Wes here. Today we're doing Mystery Person. Right? So this reading could really just be just that. A mystery. We don't know who it is, so take it with a grain of salt, alright? These readings can pretty much apply to anybody. It could be potentially an ex-partner, a new person, an alien, who knows. Alright? For the timestamps, as always with all my videos, they're in the comment section. Just look for my name. It'll be highlighted and pinned. Show more info and you'll see all the blue links there to go to whatever zodiac sign you want to watch. All right. If you need to get a hold of me, my email can always be found in the description box of my videos. If you need to contact me to give some feedback or you want a personal reading. All right. Thank you for anybody that does leave likes on my videos or comments. I do appreciate all of you that do that. All right. And as always, with any tarot video, whether it's mine or somebody else, not all messages are going to resonate with every last person. All right. Always, when it comes to tarot, use your judgment if it actually sounds like your situation or applies to you. All right. If something doesn't make sense to you, don't force it. Please don't. All right. It's not a huge problem, I don't think, but there are people that try to do that, and that's not how tarot works. Alright, so let's start, I guess, with, we'll do Pisces again today, since they seemed enthusiastic the last time I started with them first. Alright. This is your moments of shine, Pisces. Pisces. You are going first again. Can you believe it? Alright. Not that it, like, really matters because you got timestamps, but whatever. Alright, tell me about a mystery person for the zodiac sign of Pisces. Who is this person? What can we know? So we have the Hierophant for you on who this person might be. Alright, so this is suggesting somebody that has similarities to you, Pisces. Alright. Let's see what else comes out, but most likely this could be describing a person that shares a lot of values or beliefs. They have a couple things in line with you. In other words, you think the same way, maybe you feel the same way about life, maybe your priorities are similar. You know, like maybe you're that type of person that likes to decorate the entire house for Easter, and this person, maybe you just met him, saw that, and they're like, wow, I like doing the exact same thing. I never thought I'd find that person who shares the same interest as Easter as I do. Alright. Alright. What is in this mystery person's energy for Pisces? Person. Alright. So we have a King of Pentacles reverse showing up. What else is in their energy? So it says Nine of Wands. So whoever this person is seems to be going through, well, potentially a difficult time. Clarify this King of Pentacles reverse, Nine of Wands. Good God, we've got... These decks really need to be replaced, but... I have the money to do it, I just haven't got around to it, but... Do have a Nine of Swords here, I'm not going to take that. This can suggest this person is somebody that's going through some period of time that's not maybe the best in their life. Alright? Tell me about the King of Pentacles reverse, Nine of Wands. What does that mean for Pisces? What is the issue in relation to Pisces? So I have this Knight here reversed. This person may be hesitant to come forward towards you. I had Death reversed as well. So whoever this is, Pisces, is somebody that may, while they may share similarity or may feel they have things in align with you, and I'm not saying in every possible way, but there must be certain things that they potentially may feel are similar to you. Their situation, it would suggest, is maybe not the most ideal right now. And it's suggesting with death reverse potentially something from the past that is still lingering. Hopefully not another relationship of some sort, or something that they just came out of. Alright, for you, it might suggest that you would have to potentially, I don't know, this may be something that you wouldn't be too fond of. Alright. I suppose it really depends on what kind of person you are, Pisces. There are some people, at least in my experience on this planet, that are more tolerant to people's situations than others. Like, you get that one person that'll work with things and be okay with it and kind of not make a big deal out of it, and then you get other people that are like, no, just not interested, you know. So it really, this read might more depend how relevant it is based on what kind of Pisces you are. Alright. With that Nine of Swords we saw earlier, this could imply that this person is worried that why they're showing up as a mystery person is because of the fact that they may not be making their presence known to you, from the standpoint that their situation, at least in their eyes, may not be desirable to you, or it may be something where you're, you know, not particularly interested, especially if this person's a male, which I think most of my watchers are female, but if you're dealing with, if this is, again, a male, I would say that they're probably most worried about this factor. You know, why would you want to approach a female and be like, oh yeah, I still got, like, you know, the car just got repossessed, you know, just came out of a failed marriage, are you, hopefully you're willing to let that slide. Want an appetizer? Just kidding. Let's hope that's not the case. Tell us about King of Pentacles reversed. Why is that reversed? Or what's causing that reversal in this person's energy? See if it'll tell us. So it says the 8 of Pentacles reversed. This is strongly suggesting career-related issues. Two things. Either this person, given that this came out, is spending far too much time in their career. In other words, this is the type of person that's going to say that all I do is work and nothing else, and where do I find the time to exist with other people? How do I do that? I live at my job. That's a possibility here. And the other possibility is that this is a person that either got fired, laid off, or no longer is employed. I mean, I don't know about you, but that would be a pretty big stressor, especially if you've got creditors who expect their payment every month. That's like the worst when you have to deal with the creditors. Like, at least I don't have to deal with them these days, but back in the day, let me tell you, there was a time in my life when I had to deal with them all the time. And the most aggravating thing was when they're on the phone and they're like, we're so sorry about your situation, but that payment, it's still going to be due. Oh, you got a grandma that's getting an allowance? Go and ask her. Go and take it from her. I mean, some of them, let me tell you, no empathy. They do not care. It's like, you're going to give it to us. All right. How does this person currently see Pisces? This individual that may not be the most confident. 10 of Cups. Wow. This person sees you in quite a positive energy with 10 of Cups. The problem with getting this card is that there's too many meanings on what it could suggest here. Because either this person sees you as somebody that's a bit of a homebody or a loving or caring person. They may portray you, Pisces, as somebody they get a sense, potentially, not confirmed, but potentially, has a soul and a heart. All right. This could also be describing here, given that Ten of Cups came out, that this is somebody that knows you. All right. Because this card can describe close-knitted relationships or connections. All right. People that you've known and formed a bond with over time. So one would ask, just saying, it's not a guarantee, but is this somebody that A, is not related by blood or family, thank God, because that would be really weird, but somebody that's been around you for a while that you haven't dated, or maybe you considered dating, but wasn't quite the right fit, but now is viewing you as, since time has gone on, Pisces starting to look pretty good, you know? I'm not really sure, but this, to me, could even be describing a potential friend. Somebody that has been lingering, just kind of, you know, we're not dating or nothing. We just know each other. So, high chance this is somebody, a male or a female friend. Somebody you already know. Okay, I'm only saying that because of this card. Okay. This person may be wondering what something more than friends potentially looks like. But again, even if that is happening, doesn't suggest they're acting on it, because it sounds like their situation is more problematic right now. This death reverse can also potentially tell us that if this is somebody that is a friend of some sort, that there could have been a failed start between the both of you in the past, which is maybe why it's a friendship now. Something happened or it didn't work. Just, you know, I'm having to think of these things because I'm like, why would this person be lacking the confidence just to come approach you if they're interested? If somebody's holding back, there's always a reason. Yeah. If this person came around and said they were interested in Pisces, how would Pisces see them? If this person just told Pisces how romantically interested they were in a Pisces and came around, how would Pisces see them? It says death. It's suggesting there might be some interest from some Pisces to look past the past. Because death can tell us that you would close a chapter of something and potentially leave the past be the past. So the only question is, what's the future? You? Me? Bottle of champagne? Just kidding. It probably wouldn't start like that. But it'd be, if this is an awkward situation, it might be like, why don't you like go to the library and read some books together? Just chat. 12 hours later. How are we in Tahiti? Where are we? What bar is this? Just kidding. Throwing the book around. Just kidding. Alright. That's what I got for you, Pisces. Alright. So your mystery person, it seems like, again, is showing up in an earth energy here. This person may have fire qualities. Alright. This could be, in my opinion, someone that is a fire sign. And the only reason I'm saying that is fire signs typically in the tarot more have, well, I guess the Zodiac too, but are generally more of the prideful individuals. And so this person's so worried about their confidence, which tells me that they could be fire sign. But that's just a guess. All right. So I'd say earth or fire with this person. All right. It seems like their reason for interest, as I said earlier, seems potentially that there's something has changed about you over time or them, but there's interest for potentially something more. All right. Hierophant can also talk about marriage, so I don't want to go as far as to say that this person is looking at that. All right, but who knows? It's possible to have interest in that. All right, but something with their situation, this is the only catch in this picture here, is that it seems like there's a lack of confidence, or this person is dealing with something. It's highly suggestive of a career-related issue, or this person, it's either they've lost financial revenue, got fired from a job, laid off, or going through hard times, or it's the opposite. They're too bogged down with their schedule, or there's something unique about their situation that's a problem. All right. So that may be a factor here. And also the other factor is potentially something that may have already happened with you in the past. But that's like a needle in a haystack trying to figure that out if that's true or not. I don't really know. The only clue is the death reversed. All right. But this person does see something good about you. All right. Favorable. So there is definite interest. But I find it interesting that it's almost implying that if the truth came out, rabbit came out the hat, you'd potentially be interested. So, good luck to you, Pisces. That's what I got. Got to move to the next sign. You know the drill. Got my sign next. Great. My sign is the best sign. Aquarius. It's our sign. I'm a sun Aquarius, so I guess today we're going second. Can you believe it? Wonderful. Just see something here. What was this? Okay. Tell me about the mystery person for our Aquarius. Sign of Aquarius. Who is this mystery person for Aquarius? Can we know? So it says the Justice reversed. This is the Libra energy. I guess we'll, This may be an individual. This could be possibly somebody that you're at odds with, Aquarius. Justice, when it's reversed, is quite, in my opinion, it's one of the more negative cards of the tarot, because it's really talking about just straight up imbalance, right? When it comes to people, being at odds with somebody is, it can be something that's minor, but it can also be something that's pretty bad, all right? So there's really no ways to know exactly why it would suggest this person's at odds with you and how bad it is what I'm trying to say. All right? This can be a person that potentially, just wasn't, well, on the extreme would suggest somebody that was unfaithful. That's the extreme, all right? Obviously, if this person was dicking around with somebody else, it's going to put you at odds with them, all right? On the flip side, the less harsher tone would be somebody that is just maybe not giving you much attention, or it's just ignoring problems or favoring themselves, all right? Just kind of making it one-sided, lopsided, where it's kind of some people could even argue an unrequited situation where you start feeling like you're doing more, like putting a lot of work trying to put out fires or make things right or something like that, and this other person just keeps creating more problems, right? You may feel that's a little unfair or unbalanced, right? This, and also another harsher potential, is somebody that you just for a long period of time have just felt that it's just something wasn't right, with what they did in the past, your behavior. I don't know. Tell us about this person that is at odds with Aquarius. It's being described as Justice reversed. What is in their energy towards Aquarius? Give us 2 cards. Just 2. So we have this 4 of Pentacles. We've got Capricorn energy there. And it says the Star reversed. So suggesting this person is not over something. How does the 4 of Pentacles relate to Aquarius? Seven of Cups. So this is a person, Aquarius, that's describing that is wondering in some cases, in some sense, where you stand as far as your interest back towards them. All right. In my opinion, the way this came out, it's suggestive that this could have been a person that you were quite fond of, or you put a lot of energy and time into. Right. Not just effort-wise, but someone that you pursued, you gave a lot of chances. You know, there's plenty of situations where, you know, when somebody gets rubbed the wrong way by somebody, they'll just cut them off. But there's always that one or two different people that you meet throughout your lifetime that you give multiple chances, you grease the runway for them because you have interest in them. All right? But that can be seen by the other person that you either have an obsession towards them or an infatuation, you know, and sometimes it's good because people will just look at that as, oh, you love me or you care for me. But, you know, unfortunately, in some situations, if a person is a little bit manipulative, they can use that or abuse that. All right. For some reason, it's suggestive here, this person's wondering or not sure if you are somebody that is still into them or possessive over them, right? This star reversed is suggestive that this person isn't over something or is still lingering from something from the past. In other words, old energy between the both of you. Could have been negative situations. Could be regrets. There's a possibility here. Okay. When I look at star reversed, I view it as more of a morning energy. It carries similarities. Not 100%, but it does carry some similarities of Five of Cups. Reversed, or no, not reversed. Five of Cups energy. Because it's like you're not growing as a person. Something you would maybe hope for didn't really come true. You may feel like the universe is kind of not really giving you what you feel is just or due to you. All right. Can be like some type of pain or frustration or regret that keeps lingering. You're not healing past. You're not growing past. It shuts you off spiritually. All right. This person's in this energy for some reason, and there's also, again, a bit of confusion as to where you are. So this tells me it's a partner. This reading immediately suggests an ex-partner of some sort or somebody that you've dealt with that is wondering potentially if you still have interest in them. But not just interest. It'd be like, I don't know how this person would know this, but it would be like some type of potential attachment is maybe a better word I'm trying to look for here. Right. I would imagine this also is somebody that must have known at some point in time you had heavy interest in them. This person's also wondering about your situation. Why is there curiosity in your situation? I don't know. Okay, with star reversed, it's also possible this person, Aquarius, is wondering if you, as much as I was pointing it to them, it's also entirely possible they're wondering if you are still kind of not over something. When I say something, them. Okay. We have Devil showing its head here. So this, again, suggestive that this person could be somebody you've had, I would say, potentially a tumultuous situation with in the past. How does this person that Aquarius is at odds with see Aquarius currently? Well, I got too many cards here. I got like 3 cards. I'm not taking that. How does this person see Aquarius? There we go. So we have Hangman. So this person's going to most certainly see you as somebody that they may get the sense Aquarius doesn't reveal too much, or you keep to yourself. Hangman is also a perspective card. This person may not know, again, given that we saw this earlier, they may not really know how you see things currently. What does that tell us? It probably tells us that time has passed and your perspective and how you see things has changed. All right. This individual may also see that your situation, Aquarius, hasn't changed much. All right. While they may not know all the details, all right, they still may believe in some ways that you are, in some ways, I don't know, like certain things about you, just they're still the same. All right. This would more apply if this person knew a lot about your situation. All right. If they didn't, then disregard them. All right. Again, this reading suggests, in my opinion, a lot about, there's some analysis about where you're at right now and what you're doing. Seems to be of interest to this person. If this person came around to Aquarius, how would Aquarius see this person? If they came around, Jesus, I hope it's not a tower, but it says Knight of Cups reversed. So some of you would not particularly be open to this person. All right. Knight of Cups reversed can also suggest that you may get a sense. So you would view them as somebody coming around with the wrong intentions. All right. Because the Knight of Cups, especially the Knight of Cups, can tell us about people that are coming in a romantic or charming way. But if you know their history, it may suggest that they haven't been sincere about that. In other words, it's like a person that shows you all the affection in the world, so they give the impression of this, and then you find out that actually they're not as loving and charming as they made themselves appear. All right? So this seems to be, once again, reinforcing the idea that this is a person that you may not trust or believe is sincere with their intentions. Essentially, you've had problems with them before. All right. Nine of Wands reverse has came out on its own as well. All right. This situation between you and this person may have come to a standstill, or it's a grinding halt. All right, but it may have lingered. So I would imagine this is a stalled situation between two people in Aquarius and some other person that you put a lot of time and effort into Aquarius, but it yielded very little or nothing. All right, you may not trust this person anymore. Why is this person so interested in your situation? Perhaps they're considering wanting to come back around, but right now it suggests that they're still a little unsure. This is not part of the reading, but I'm just going to ask it. What the fuck is that? Oh, I'm getting the bell. The bell is ringing. What is that? Last question. What is this person, this mystery person that Aquarius is at odds with potentially? What are they hiding? What is in their energy? What are they hiding from Aquarius? Says the Knight of Wands. This person does want to come towards you. All right, there is interest to do that. So my final impression of this reading, Aquarius, is that you've got a mystery person. Overall, this most likely has to be an individual that you, as I pointed out numerous times in this reading, put a considerable amount of effort into. You may have felt that this person was potentially the one at some point in time. There must have been physical features about this person that you found attractive. There must have been personality features at that point in time, not currently, that you may have found attractive. All right? But enough so that you pursued them. Is what it's suggesting here. All right? At this point in time, it's suggestive you're at odds with this person, meaning you're no longer with them, so clearly something happened where it deteriorated and those promises or wishes of fulfillment didn't occur. All right? Your energy seems to be suggestive that if this person came around, there may be some degree of frustration towards them, also a lack of trust, or you may not believe their interest towards you is sincere. In other words, this would be an Aquarius that's like, yeah, I already know what I need to know about you. All right, so how this person intends, I was gonna say how this person feel like intends to get around like this issue here is a mystery to me, because to me, if this energy is true, it's kind of a hopeless situation for them. All right, but they are wanting to come around, it's suggestive here. But so when we're kind of saying earlier that this person's trying to look at your situation, there is a reason behind it, because they want to come towards you. So they may feel that the best opportunity to approach you would be depending on your circumstances or your situation, but I think they're having a hard time reading you. All right, this may be a person that is trying to look for, I don't want to say a vulnerability, Aquarius, but it's like it's a person that's like trying to look for the sweet spot to approach to have the highest chance. All right, but if I had to be honest about it, with this showing up here, it's probably likely that they're still not somebody to be trusted. All right, because Justice is quite heavy energy. It can suggest that there's still some lingering frustration from the past that you feel was never resolved. In other words, you never apologized about something. All right, I'm not sure. But anyways, that's what I got for you, Aquarius. Good luck to you. All right, seems like an ex-partner of some sort. All right, let's go to Capricorn. Capricorn! It's you, me, and a Terrarian. Hope all of you are doing well. Alright, tell me about the person, the mystery person for the sign of Capricorn. Who is this person? What can we know? What can I know? What can Capricorn know? It says a treasure chest. Great. So this person could literally just be money. I'm just kidding. All right. So Ten of Pentacles doesn't really tell me a whole lot. Let's clarify it. What can we know about the Ten of Pentacles? Why is this person being described as that? Wow, you have this Ace of Wands here. So if you do have a large coffer of money somewhere, this person is very interested in that. All right. In all seriousness, Ten of Pentacles, again, it still doesn't really reveal much here, Capricorn, because this can describe long-term things as far as relationships, marriage, in a relationship setting. All right, long-term commitments. But given that they're a mystery person, I'd be hard-pressed that they're jumping to marriage this soon on, but let's see what else is in their energy, and we'll come back to this. Tell us about this person, this mystery person for our Capricorns, the one that's being described as Ten of Pentacles. What is in their general energy towards Capricorn? It says Ace of Wands reversed. So this person that's immediately telling us wants to start something with you, but it hasn't gone their way. This card can talk about delays, energy that's just accumulating but doing nothing. This is like somebody that wants to do something and you ask them, why haven't you done it? Well, I'm gonna. It's just, you know, the weather's not right. Well, you said that last week and the week before. I'm gonna. Just waiting for the right time. This could immediately tells us this person may be making up reasons or excuses or believe that there are things getting in the way, whether that's true or not. What else is in this person's energy for Capricorn? With the Four of Pentacles here. Wow, this person really wants your money. There's Capricorn's treasure chest. You're like a little leprechaun, Capricorn. There's your pot of gold right there, and this person's like, I need to get it! Either that, or this person always knows, that you go and get yourself some donuts, and they're like, I remember those days where I used to take the whole box and eat every fucking one of those things. Boy, I knew it pissed Capricorn off. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should start a donut shop and make them look like pentacles. Can I get one chocolate-covered pentacle, please? You absolutely can. And then the news will come. How did you get that idea? From the Four of Pentacles, baby. All right. How does this relate to Capricorn, this Four of Pentacles? So we have a king here. So at least we have some revelation or a reveal on who this person might be. But that doesn't help us here either. Well, kind of does, but not really. Clarify Four of Pentacles. No, actually, don't do that. Tell us what. Oh, I wanted that. It's too late now. Tell us about the King of Swords. Why is this King card comes out? It says a Queen of Pentacles. Wow. And you're a Capricorn. So, generally speaking, Capricorn, when the Queen is reversed, it can suggest financial hard times. So, this king must have taken every fucking penny from you. I just want to apologize that I took everything, kind of left you a little broke. I'm just kidding. All right, that is an exaggeration. That's a part of the reading. Sorry, my imagination sometimes runs wild some days. All right. Now we got to figure out why the Queen's reversed. Why is the Queen of Pentacles, aka Capricorn, reversed towards this king? This may be a queen that is not very fond of the king. Very upset that the donuts were taken. All of them. Says the Hermit. What about? Why is the Queen in... What is the Queen thinking about? What's the Queen thinking about? Can we know? We have Moon. I'm going to take that. And that. I'm going to take that. Wow, and there's the fucking King. Look at that. We're going to take that too. Wow, we got an Emperor there. Almost. We don't need that, but... This is very revealing, the way that it came out. Right? What this suggests here is that if we believe the tarot, it is suggesting that this Queen is reversed because of something that was being contemplated or thought heavily about. All right? When we look into that aspect, it's suggesting uncertainty around something, which is why somebody would be contemplating or heavily thinking. And this card with the Hermit talks about one thing that's very important. The road ahead all of us throughout life have to make executive decisions about where we spend our time and what we spend our money on, right? Because that actually turns out, radically changes your direction in life. You know, if you go blow all your money that was intended for college, you may not be able to pay for college, which is going to affect your future, right? So we have to make these decisions, and suggesting a Capricorn that was doing just that. What about, though? It's suggesting, I don't know, these two here and this little ankle biter, little mini you, and then this king being involved here. Interesting. And now we have yours truly back again and what it meant for you. So this suggests to us that this person is known to you. And we're obviously just saying air sign. And I find this very interesting that we've got this family structure over here. And this, again, could talk about long-term relationships, right? So with Four of Pentacles, this can imply that this person still has interest in you. It is a possessive card, okay? It can talk about somebody that is sometimes not, you know, they find the person and they have I don't want to say an obsessive tendency. That's like a very extreme example. But it's a person that they don't discard easily, or not just, I mean, discard is also a bad word there, because that just sounds bad. But not somebody that they pass off easily, all right? In other words, even if they broke up with you, there's still interest, you know, and it lingers. I don't really know why. Why does Capricorn still interest me? Was I wrong? Maybe I should have left just one donut, and Capricorn would not have left me. How does this person see Capricorn? Wow, I almost want to take that because it seems right. I'm going to take that. I want to take that too. How does this person see Capricorn? So we'll have world here as well. Let's see. If this person wants to come around to Capricorn unexpectedly, how would Capricorn view them? Wow, look at that. Split the deck on that. I'm going to take that too. How would Capricorn see this person view them if they came around suddenly? Look at that. So it says Two of Wands. There's one thing that's very apparent in this reading, Capricorn, is that it's 2 times now suggestive of a Capricorn that would, when it comes to this particular person, it creates a very difficult, I don't know what I should do situation here. Which tells us that there's 2 things going on here. One, there's some side of you that's saying, this person may not be someone I should potentially be dealing with again. But there's another side that is saying, but I really want it. So there's something about this person that is just a hair different from the others that you would give consideration to. In other words, there's something about them that you're curious about. It doesn't mean to say it's going to work. But there's something about this person that is just, either it's a history thing, you know this person, it was something that hooked you onto them in the past, I don't know. But it shows that you would be worried about it. Like, well, not worried, but it would bother you, or you wouldn't know what to do. And it may be almost suggestive of 2 things here. One, you would, if this person came around unexpectedly, it would suggest that, one, there's some of you that are going to be interested heavily on whether this will progress to a connection. Does this mean they're interested for a connection? Or the other side is suggestive of, I don't know if I should deal with this again. Like, in other words, I probably, maybe I shouldn't even find out. You know, it'd be better. But, what do I do? There's me. What do I do? I don't know, Capricorn. What do you do? All right? Perhaps this king almost knows it. Knows you would be act up. All right. This king and how they see you, though, with the world here, can tell us there's potential distance between the both of you, or it can talk about that this situation is closed out, right? It doesn't heavily talk about things like that, but it does sometimes talk about resolution or completion of some time in history, all right? Which can probably, in my opinion, tell us that there was closure of this situation, but that's just an educated guess here. On the other hand, it is also implying that this person would see you as the Nine of Swords energy, which it almost suggests is absolutely correct. And it's going to the Fool reversed, suggesting on somebody that is hesitant about taking a chance on something. So this overall, for this message, is strongly suggesting it's a Capricorn that's hesitant towards this person. The only question is why. Right? And there's delays. So this is for a Capricorn, that there's a person here that seems to have interest in a Capricorn, but the big question is why? Why is a Capricorn I don't know. Is it resistance, or is it a Capricorn being elusive? I'm not really sure. Or is it a Capricorn that's just not very, I don't know, is wary to this person for past reasons, right? That's what I got for you, Capricorn. My guess is that this person wants to come towards you, but apparently that's not going to their favor. They almost believe that you wouldn't want to entertain it. Which, I mean, I don't know what to think about that, because it's potential you'd be curious. As I gave you that possibility, it's possible for some of you would be wanting to be something more, but I don't know. Seems to be a communication issue here, or some problem with around that. You're on one page and they're on another. Mystery person for Capricorn. Sagittarius. Tell me about a mystery person for our Sagittarius. Who is this person? What can I know? Can the sign of Sagittarius know about this mystery person? What can you know? So you have Six of Pentacles here. We've got Taurus energy. That's good. This is showing that this person has interest in you, whoever they are. Yeah, let's use this deck. Let's see what else comes out first. Tell us about this person that wants to give to Sagittarius, or be more open with Sagittarius. What is in their general energy towards Sagittarius? This really wants to come out. I'm going to take that. It's Two of Wands. We have the Seven of Swords. What else? We have Death. Okay. Tell us. Well, we've got that. So I want to take. I'm gonna take these three here. So we've got a Queen here, which is you, a Knight, and the Two of Cups both reversed. Which is suggesting that this person still has interest in you, but is unsure about whether or not you would pursue a relationship with them anymore. Clarify the Seven of... Well, that pretty much did clarify the Seven of Swords, but we'll clarify it again. Clarify the Seven of Swords. Wow, we got fucking the Ace of Pentacles here. This person, without a question, is probably the strongest out of the three reads before you. Has the most interest to want to come towards you. All right. This Two of Wands is telling us that in this person's general energy, that there is some contemplation about the path ahead. All right. This person clearly doesn't know about the road ahead, so one has to ask these questions about the possibilities. Is something possible? All right. When we read the tarot, and I'm reading it and stuff like that, it sounds like this is like a NASA mission planning event where it's like all these variables and there's like some I don't know, calculations on a chalkboard and everything like that. That's not really going on. I would imagine in real life this is just a very fast kind of something that's thought very fast in real life by somebody that's just kind of looking at the situation where they've come across your profile or they know about you, you're in the phone, maybe they talk to you once in a while. All right, we don't know. This person, for all we know, could be having conversations with you every other day. All right, but they're looking at the potential between you and them. All right, what does that look like? All right. This Seven of Swords is going to the Ace of Pentacles, which is really good here, because it's suggesting that they are contemplating about a potential opportunity with you. All right. Death is suggesting a fresh start as well. But again, it doesn't really tell us if you and them had a past run-in with each other. So there's no real ways for me to know if this is an ex-partner or not, other than this. Two of Cups reversed. Now, the reason I'm saying it like that is because even though the Two of Cups reversed can suggest an ending of a relationship, we don't know that you even had a relationship to begin with. So it's possible this was a Sagittarius that this person did have a lot of interest in, but there's also that possibility that that Sagittarius didn't feel the same way. It's like, hey, how do I give you the let's just be friends speech without actually making it seem like it's exactly what it seems like? How do I do that? So that could be a thing here. So one of two possibilities. One, this is a person that you kind of rejected or you had low interest in, or maybe you just felt there was other reasons or variables as to why you didn't want to be with them at that time, so you kind of had to say no, or you didn't want to pursue it. Or this is a person that you did have a situation with. I think that's less likely, but it's possible. That came to an end, right? How does this person see Sagittarius? This person that's clearly interested. Alright, we've got the Five of Pentacles here. Take that. Yeah, I'm going to take that. How does this person see Sagittarius? Give me one more card. Oh, God, we've got too many cards here. One card on how this person sees Sagittarius. Alright, look at this Ace of Cups reversed. So badly want to take that. So we have the Two of Swords reversed. This tells us that this is a person, no doubt, Sagittarius, that you may not have the strongest connection with. It could be somebody that is fairly distant, right? The Five of Pentacles can talk about two people that are a bit disconnected to each other, and in the worst case, completely on the outs, estranged from each other, all right? Bad times. But in this scenario, it probably tells us that this is a person that you are aware of, you know they exist, you know their name, you know who they are, but you're a bit disconnected from them. So they're viewing you, this person is viewing you as an object of interest to them, right? But as far as they're concerned, the Two of Swords reverse is also telling us that you would be undecided towards them, or you don't have an opinion. So what does that mean in plain English? It's like they wouldn't really know where they stood with you. It's like, what? This could be a person wondering if something has changed. Like, if they made an appearance, would you be interested? Would you suddenly be like, whoa, I so want to go to date with you, whoa. All right. But we really need to ask the real question as to why were they kind of rejected in the first place. So evidently there was something about this person you just wasn't doing it for you. Like I said, it doesn't have to be something negative. Maybe it was just a person that you're like, hey, just gotta let you down easy. It's like, you're not bad. Like, you have 99 out of 100 of the check boxes checked. But there's that one, and I don't know if we can work, right? Okay, I'm not saying you're that crazy, Sagittarius, but there's some reason. So you be the judge of that, what that is to you. If this person came around to Sagittarius, how would Sagittarius see this person? This mystery person. Wow, we have Moon here. I'm gonna take that. Wow, I also want to take that. How would Sagittarius see this mystery person if they unexpectedly came around? How would Sagittarius see this person? Let's use a different deck. Let's use the Banana Tarot. How would Sagittarius see this mystery person? Wow, we're not getting anything. Maybe I should just take what I got. So we have a queen here that is horizontal. So this immediately tells us, Sagittarius, that if this person was to come around to us, it's a, wow, and this, now that I think about it, you're a fire sign too. So that's about as good as it's going to get. If this person came around, it's suggesting that with the moon energy, you would have doubts, or you're unsure. You don't know what to think. All right. The Hangman is showing a reflection, or trying to look at things from a different perspective. I've said that a couple times earlier today. But I'm assuming you would be, I don't know, just viewing what qualities this person has. Is something different about them? Do you still have attraction? But that immediately tells me that your interest towards this person probably just isn't a 9 or a 10. It's probably more like a 5 to a 6. So you're seeing something about them that may be appealing. Maybe even if this person has some money, or who knows, like there could be stuff that you're like, they're not terrible. They're not bad, but I'm not like really jumping out of my seat for them. And it's showing a queen here that's horizontal, which tells us in the upright you would be jumping at it. The reversal says you wouldn't. So So this is now a second time where it's showing the interest towards this person is average. It's not exceptional. So my overall impression for this reading here, Sagittarius, is that you have a person that it's kind of looking like has more interest in you than you do to them, right? What is the reason, the true reason, why it's suggesting a Sagittarius that is having a lowered interest towards this person? That remains a mystery. Is it because of something bad that happened, or is it because it's a person that you just genuinely just are not finding knocks your socks off, right? I'm not really sure, but it's showing cautious energy towards them, not in a bad way. It's just showing that you just aren't sure, right? That's what it's suggesting if this person just came around unexpectedly. So this also tells us this being out in the cold energy is probably, again, suggesting that it's a Sagittarius that just is not, for some reason, getting very excited for this individual. It's showing you in an unsure energy. This person even knows it, that you're kind of got this neutral stance to them. But in my opinion, despite all of that, it's suggesting a high potential that this person will still try. In fact, it suggests they're scheming at how they're going to potentially approach you to get their foot back in the door. But whatever. Time will tell if that is true or not. That's what I got for you, Sagittarius. All right. We got Baller Sagittarius over here. Just like, I don't know. Get in line. I don't really know if I want you. Maybe I do. It's like, you know, when it comes to relationships, it's like auditions with me. Gotta make that first good impression. Scorpio. Tell me about the mystery person for the sign of Scorpio. Who is this person? What can we know? What can I know? What can the sign of Scorpio know? Really wants to come out. It says the Justice reverse. I think I got that for... Which sign did I get that for? One of them. Maybe it was... Could have been Capricorn. I don't know. Either Aquarius or Capricorn. But that reading may have similar similarities. We'll see. So this is somebody that is most likely at odds with you, Scorpio. Or something happened. Alright? I'm not going to actually ramble too much on this card because I want to first see what comes out. Because this energy can go to extremes. Tell us about this mystery person that's potentially at odds with Scorpio, with the Justice reversed. What is in their general energy towards Scorpio? So it says the Ace of Swords reversed. What else is in their energy towards Scorpio? And you have Devil. Well, so this is most certainly a potentially a person that feels the connection either you shared in the past or something that happened was not the best, we'll say that. I suppose we need to clarify the Devil, because that's also quite an important one. Why is the Devil energy showing you? Card comes out. It says 2 of Wands. What does that mean for Scorpio? Says you're undecided. You're stuck too. What is the Ace of Swords reversed about? What is being concealed? Got a Queen here. What is the Ace of Swords reversed in this mystery person's energy about? I hate when we get multiple cards. Okay, so it says 4 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles reversed. That doesn't really help us though. Well, actually it does. Whoever this person is, Scorpio, sorry. I'm still stuck in Sagittarius in my mind. This is suggestive. This reading is a little bit unusual because it tells us about a person here that may have some, well, it's potential that they have insecurities of some sort. This person may still have a potential fascination around a Scorpio or an obsession even. All right. This person's almost wondering about the direction of things strongly. But there's also on their energy suggestive, like they're this, like, I don't know if it's paranoia or it's concern of a Scorpio that maybe they felt was only there to really take advantage of them or get something from them. So what does that mean in plain English without putting too much fuel in the fire here? This could be a person that is viewing a Scorpio that they had a connection with, right? And this person may have seen certain things about the connection that they really enjoyed and they really wanted to keep around. But a Scorpio left for whatever reason, and this person's interpreting it like you were only there for certain reasons. Maybe it was for them to pay for dinner, all right? Or you were just wanting, you know, to be wined and dined or entertained, or you weren't really there for a relationship, basically. All right, and then you just moved on. All right, this 9 of Pentacles reversed, when I was asking about this in relation to you, is almost implying, it can talk about an energy of somebody coming in that is saying they're looking for love, saying they want a close connection, but they're not actually meaning it. Now, does that mean that you really were doing that? No, but it's suggestive that this person believes potentially that that may be the reason, one of the reasons why you know, were there. All right. So this Devil energy is also a little confusing here too, because it can tell us there's so many potentials on what it can suggest here. All right, but high potential for infatuation still towards you, or an obsessive, someone that's, I don't want to say like obsessive in the way that they're crazy or something like that, but it is just suggestive like they're not over with you or they can't get over you or something like that. Their energy is showing Justice reversed, partly because of this Ace of Swords reversed, going to their confusion about your real motives. Like, so if we were in real life to basically, like, let's say a Scorpio and this person had a connection, it failed, you went your separate way, whatever, and then this person was in the bar with their buddy or something like that, and then the buddy was asking, well, what happened with you and Scorpio? They'd be like, oh yeah, that bitch was just, she was there, for a free ride, can't trust them, that's what they do. That's kind of how this energy would look like. Or she was just, making up reasons why, complicating things. He or she was just doing that, But those could have been legitimate reasons that you had. But this person may disregard that and just give their own narrative as to why you were acting the way that you were. It wasn't because you were unhappy. It was just because you were just trying to get something from them. How does this person see Scorpio currently, this mystery person? Says the Chariot, which is suggesting they see you moving forwards or moving past. You're not phased or bothered. Alright. Again, with this Four of Pentacles reversed, can also tell us that you detached or you left the situation. In other words, it hasn't bothered you. This person, again, may be wondering about that. Like if you're going to still come back around or they're an option. I think they may be annoyed by the fact that maybe they're not, or at least they're getting a sense they may not be someone as, I don't know, maybe they thought like you had more interest in them, but this shift away from them seems to be bothering them, is what I'm trying to say. Could potentially almost give the impression like they weren't that important, and that could also be driving this. Like, you're just gonna leave? Like, that's it? If this person was to come around to Scorpio, how would Scorpio see this mystery person? It says the Judgment reverse, almost implying, once again, that you would be at odds with this person. Alright? Judgment can tell us in the upright about potential for a new beginning or a new start, or that's if you guys were on, on the same page with each other and expressed interest to do so. But with the Judgment being reversed, that again spells uncertainty. Or maybe you wouldn't think that's possible. Alright? This card in the worst case scenario can talk about individuals that argue with each other. Why are they arguing? Because Judgment talks about what you believe in, what you're declaring is to be true about you, your path, your direction, your convictions, all that kind of stuff. So in the reversal, if somebody's challenging you on that, you're going to potentially stand up for yourself or argue against them, have disagreements. I don't feel that that is the right way for things to go, or whatever. So this is telling us that if this person came around, you would probably be a little bit defensive towards them. Alright? So for this reading, since I think it qualifies for it, what is this mystery person hiding? So it says Temperance reversed. So that pretty much tells me exactly all I need to know. Overall, for this reading, Scorpio, this is an individual that seems to be bothered by the fact that you and them are potentially at odds with each other. Hopefully this is not a person that is driven by chaos. There are a salt shaker amount of people out there that kind of get a rush or interest off of a little bit of dysfunction, the chaos, like they don't like relationships to be just functional and normal. There's always got to be some drama or something. You get people like that. You just do. This person seems to have a high focus or interest around that. Alright? Something about you and them from the past seems to be bothering them. That how it either went, transpired, what happened, how maybe you left. I think this person's kind of making up potential things in their mind that, they didn't get their just due or whatever. Like maybe your intentions were not sincere. Alright, I think it bothers them. Alright, their energy doesn't show them really doing anything though. They're stewing over it. And there is some wondering about whether potentially you and them are going to come back around with each other, but they haven't seen that, and it shows your energy is kind of being like, yeah, I don't know if this person's a good idea for me, right? So What do I think is potentially going to happen here? If this reading is true and accurate, this person will potentially, in my opinion, I would think, contact you or approach you at some point. And the only driving reason behind that is because it's bothering them. Their energy is suggesting it's annoying them. And when people are in that energy, they want answers, or they want someone to clarify something. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a person that you've already had issues with, or you feel like, you know, you're not going to find, you know, you can try and clarify something for them and it's not going to be good enough. They won't believe it. I don't know. So that's what I got for you, Scorpio. Good luck to you. All right. Sounds like you got a little troublemaker or something. They got stung pretty bad, I guess. Libra. Talk about the mystery person for the sign of Libra. Who is this person? What can we know? What can I know? What can Libra know? What can we know about this person? Do have this Ace of Cups here. Reverse. I think I want to take that. What can we know about this person? And we have 9 of Wands. So we have Sagittarius energy there. Let's see what's in their general energy first. What is in this person's general energy towards Libra? Mystery person for Libra. What is in their general energy towards Libra? It says the Queen of Swords reversed. So this person's aware, and that's your energy too. Right? You are an air sign. So this person seems to be aware that you are, well, actually, I'm going to hold my tongue again. 6 of Swords. Interesting. So this is a person, Libra, that is at odds with you or resistant towards you. Alright. This 9 of Wands can tell us a wide range of things where either this person finds sometimes that you are difficult to deal with, or it is suggesting an uphill battle just in general. Alright. Where, like some people may view that as negative, but here's the thing. Alright. Connections, whether it's in a relationship or a friendship, sometimes they go buttery smooth, and other times they don't. All right. It's only the real question is if there's effort or not. Well, this is Wands energy, which suggests that this person, as far as their standpoint goes, there has been effort or energy put into it. But the problem is that there's roadblocks, and sometimes people can have different viewpoints or opinions or whatever like that, and you know it can become a bit of a grind. It's not so smooth anymore. All right, your energy is suggestive of the wounded warrior, which can imply that they feel that you and them have had your issues with each other. All right. It is one away from the 10 of Wands, which can talk about, to some extent, a closure or a cycle ending of some sort, but they're feeling like things are not going so hot between the both of you. Alright? Their energy is also saying Queen of Swords reversed, which implies that either you're being difficult with them or you're not talking with them. Alright? 6 of Swords can talk about moving to calmer waters. Alright? I'm assuming that's them and you. Alright? This Ace of Cups is also telling us that potentially either the romance or the interest is gone from the situation. There may be, this could have been something of relevance at some point. In other words, there was at some point strong interest for beginning a start or chemistry or something like that, but the reversal is telling us that that is either absent or it's gone. Right? The opportunity passed. Right? So it's like, how do we go from this to this? Alright. So this Nine of Wands can also talk about frustration or having to defend your values. In other words, if this person doesn't want to compromise, all right, you may not be willing to compromise. So how do you resolve a situation where both people won't compromise? Can't. All right. How does this mystery person see Libra? They still see you as an opportunity. Interesting. If this person was to come around to Libra, this mystery person, how would Libra see them? So it's saying you were to receive the invitation. You have Page of Wands here, suggesting you would communicate back with them. But there's something about Four of Swords here, about a timeout. Some of you may tell this person you're still taking a timeout, or you're healing, or getting past something. What is the challenge here? What is the challenge between Libra and this person? So it's saying the challenge was Four of Cups, disappointment. In other words, it's implying in some ways that Libra or this person, who knows, both, that are not seeing what they're wanting to see, essentially. All right. This can be a lack of motivation, boredom, things that got stale. You know, there's always, because this card can tell us that if two people were around each other, right? Even if it was a dinner date or something like that, what it can tell us is that in that moment, both people are having a hot plate of food served to them. They have their company with each other. Both of them are dressed up for the occasion. It should be a magical moment. But then it's suggesting that at the dinner table, they're wondering about, well, it's not what it could be. It's not really what I wanted. It's just not doing it for me. That's the problem, what it's saying the challenge is here. There's some lack of, it's not, the fulfillment isn't quite there. All right? There's also some potential for disappointments, or it hasn't worked, or this has been a problem. All right? Because it does talk about the shoulda, the coulda, the wouldas. Maybe if this was different, it would be better. All right? So overall, what do we need to know about this reading, Libra? This seems to be a person that it's describing in the Nine of Wands energy, which I kind of gave you some examples loosely around that potentially there's struggles or fatigue or a defensive nature between the both of you. So could this suggest it's stalled? Possibly. Doesn't mean to say you're not talking. Some of you may be talking with each other, but even if that is the case, I would imagine things are stifled or slow with communication. In other words, it doesn't really go very far. All right, they're kind of viewing with this Queen of Swords reversed two things here, which can suggest either you don't talk very much, or your communication style is erratic, or you sometimes just don't want to, like the way that you talk is difficult for them to engage with. All right, does that mean that you're a bad person? No, it's just saying that there's some type of communication issue going on. All right, that Queen being reversed may be reversed for a reason. I don't know. Maybe you get bored of this person, or you don't like the way that they talk to you. All right. There is some interest or in their energy, showing Six of Swords energy. So that is a transition to calmer waters. So in other words, if a situation is turbulent, maybe it'll improve. That doesn't really tell us a whole lot, but it can, off the energy, suggest that this person's wondering the next direction of what happens with this. All right. This Ace of Cups is quite negative because it's implying that again, the spark of romance or love is not really there right now. The fact that the ace is here, though, does imply, again, it's the foot in the door card, if you watch this channel enough, both that and the Page of Pentacles. And it can tell us that while, even if this is reversed, it's a person that's still remaining in some type of connection to you. Not in a relationship, but they, again, maybe it's talking or maintaining contact. I'm not really sure. All right, but it's somebody that's wanting to have something to do with you. All right. In order to do that, you gotta get your foot in the door. You gotta have some type of communication, contact, something. All right. You want to come help me fix my toilet? You and me can both. I'll show you how to use the wrench. Where's the damn queen when you need it? I thought we had a queen here. Oh yeah. I'm not really into wrenches, thank you. Just kidding. This is also implying that even if this person came around, it could be suggestive that you would show them interest, you would communicate with them, but it's almost like showing you, potentially saying to them that you're, I don't know if it would be directly telling them this or indirectly telling them that you're kind of just doing you and been taking a time out and working on yourself or something like that. All right, because Four of Swords can be a healing card. It can be especially described taking time out just for you, not for two, just for you, which is sometimes suggestive of like, yeah, I'm not really doing dating or relationships right now. I'm just doing a me, working on myself, my career, you know. But it sends the impression in some ways to another that you wouldn't be available, all right? And it's showing the challenge. And apparently, I already gave examples with the restaurant, all that kind of stuff, that there seems to be a bit of a lack problem between you and this person. So, don't know if this is an ex. I don't know if it's a new person. All right? Could have been somebody you met and then it just fizzled off. I don't know. Good luck to you, Libra. Leave a like if you got something out of that. Virgo! How are all the Virgos doing? Tell me about a mystery person for the sign of Virgo. Who is this person? What can we know? Wow, card already comes out. It says the Seven of Wands here. So I have Leo energy here. Clarify the Seven of Wands. Why is this person in Seven of Wands energy? Well, we have this 9 here. Take that. Wow, and it's followed by the 8. We'll take both of those. And we have this 2. Take that. Why is this person in the Seven of Wands energy towards Virgo? This really wanted to come out, so I guess we'll take that. This could be an individual here that unfortunately could have been at odds with you. All right, Five of Swords and the Five of Cups can describe that there could have been a fight or a blow up or something said or exchanged that didn't go so well. All right, this may have put you and this person at odds with each other or separated, you know. I'm getting a sense, at least with this energy, that high potential, that this was an in the moment, kind of some things were exchanged or said that maybe were a bit out of character. Could have, who knows, maybe somebody didn't take some news or, you know, it was a bad day or something like that. I'm not really sure. All right. You know, you always get those times of the month where people are just, for whatever reason, and everybody goes through it, where it's just like, no matter how good you try to make your lifestyle, there's just those weeks that you're just a little extra spicy or a little annoyed about something. Like, you know, anything's going to trigger me. It just happens, right? Could that have been a factor here? Maybe, right? But it's suggesting this person's a little on guard to you, a little bit defensive towards you in their posture, right? But it does show them in a lot of stress or overthinking, a lot of thinking, all right? What are they fixating about? It's saying the road ahead, the path ahead, the choices, right? When it comes to dating and relationships, this can be choices of partners, and it can also tell us that this person's wondering about you and them. Why would there be two paths? Well, one suggests that you and them are done, and the other still implies there's a possibility, all right? So this immediately tells us that because this person's wondering that they still have interest in you, right? What is in this person's general energy towards Virgo? This person is being described as the Seven of Wands. Wow, we've got this Nine of... I'm going to take that. What is in their general energy towards Virgo? So this person is potentially an air sign. High chance for as an air sign. Wow, it says 9 of... Why is this person so... This person could also be a fire sign as well. Fire, air. Because they're... This person may be very sensitive, or has an ego, or stresses, or just gets, I don't know, could get crabby, or it's like reactive, right? Easily. This could be a person that, like, if they feel they're getting wronged or something's not going their way, be like, I'm not gonna put up with that. I'm not gonna do that. Blah. Yeah, that. You do what you want to do. Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna fucking deal with that. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Could be someone like that, and getting that kind of vibe off of this energy. So they'll put that reactionary kind of wording and everything out, but as soon as they're behind closed doors, they're thinking about it. It bothers them. So this is a person that's easily bothered. They may not reveal it very much, though. How does this Nine of Swords relate to Virgo in this person's energy? Again, it's suggesting heavy uncertainty with this person. This person may be worried they're gonna lose you, wherever they are. So this tells me, this reading's for Virgo, that definitely could be at odds with this person, but this person doesn't want to lose you. Why? Okay, so we're going to ask this question immediately. What is the challenge? Come on. These cards keep coming out. What is the challenge between Virgo and this mystery person? It says walking away is the challenge. Wow. So maybe this could be a situation where it... How do I even interpret that? Because there's so many things I can say about that. Does somebody keep leaving the situation? Or is it suggesting it's like a situation that doesn't want to die? Because it's saying, why is a challenge leaving a situation? Because these cups are important to know, because it's telling us that there's still emotions or potentially money involved, property. There's things involved in a connection of some sort, or there's history involved with something, and somebody doesn't want to let that go, right? Because why would you? Why would you want to leave all of that? That's like building a 401k and putting money into it, and then just saying, well, just walk away from it. You're gonna be like, fuck no, I'm not walking away from that. I put all that time and effort into it. So, you know, it would take a lot for you to have to leave all, because what would you say? I put all my blood, sweat, and tears into getting that money, and now you're just telling me to leave it? Okay, so Is the situation the same as a 401k? No, but I'm just using it as a crude example that there's some sort of investment this person had towards a Virgo, and it seems that, and it could even be likewise, where it's a Virgo that felt they had investment in the situation. This has a high chance for something to do with marriage, or a past marriage, or divorce, or a strong living situation where you spend a lot of time with this person. All right, look at that moon in the background there. And notice where the moon is looking. It's looking at that man who's drinking that cup. What would that cup be? It would be a new beginning, love, romance. Their heart is open, and it's just drinking it away. And the moon is looking at them. This is suggesting uncertainty about love and romance. This person is already in the moon energy. Actually, it shows them on their bed. Just look at all those swords there. Each one of those swords is telling us about some type of stressor or idea or problem. Could be a variety of things. Look how many are on this person's mind. Some of them are even bleeding, really suggesting it's taking a lot out of them. So clearly this is a person that is wrapped up in a Virgo. How does this person see Virgo currently? This mystery person, how do they see Virgo? You and them have ended, all right? But death being upright is good because it suggests that it was a clean ending, or potentially maybe you guys just felt that it's time to go. Me and you, we don't work anymore, all right? So this is potential, and I find this odd here, that in the beginning it was describing that upset energy. So this person may not have wanted this to end. Again, this further supports divorce. I understand not all of you are going to be like, Wes, I'm not in a marriage, I'm always in divorce. That's fine, but I'm just saying for people that were in that, because this reading can heavily resonate. We don't get too many marriage readings, but what happens after a divorce? You go through the proceedings, and then once it's finalized, it's over. It's in the past. But that's the proceedings. It doesn't mean to say their emotions are in the past. That can still linger, especially if it was a bad, divorce. I mean, divorces are not ever fun. It's a loss for everybody. And that card describes sometimes that this person may feel that there was a lot invested and it all got wiped away. Damn it. Okay, but again, this reading is strongly resonating for somebody, a Virgo, that was either in a marriage that failed, or this is a long-term commitment, or something that was quite intense between the both of you, or even in some rare cases, a situation that wasn't maybe a long-term relationship, but it just went on for a very long period of time. Okay? In other words, the question of what are we got asked way too many times. What I'm trying to say is, when I ask what are we, is I'm literally living in your house, I'm making you dinner, you're working paying the bills, making all the bed, we have a kid running around, and we're still friends? What are we? Aren't we more than that? It's like a friendship that's so far progressed that it's basically a marriage. God. It's hard to believe, and I'm trying not to believe it, but it's hard to believe that while that sounds like I'm joking, somewhere, just saying, that's going on. That's actually going on. It's like a kid running around they've made, they're living in the same house, doing the whole thing, and they're still friends. With benefits, of course. Crazy. I mean, with all the shit you see on YouTube, am I really that far off? I don't think so. How would Virgo see this mystery person if they suddenly came around, you know, wanting to talk, to chat? Wow, let me get this again. This energy is so prominent. Nine of Swords. How would Virgo see this person if they came around? Not getting anything from this deck. Wow, it says Hierophant reverse. This can talk about broken contracts. It can also talk about marriages that ended or divorces, but it can also talk about somebody that you're, again, at odds with, because it suggests values that are not aligning with each other. What is the problem that Virgo sees with the Hierophant reversed? Says a Fool reverse, not willing to take a chance, or it's too risky, or it could be problematic. Wow. Not wanting to take a chance on something again. How would it suggest the general Virgos collectively feel towards this person they left? It says you still have favorable memories towards this person. That's probably why it's showing up in a reading. Here's my final impression for you, Virgo. This is most certainly, as I pointed out, either marriage related, a divorce, something around that, or a long-term partner, or again, one of those rare situations where maybe it's just a long ongoing situation between two people that almost feels like a marriage, right? But one of the key points here is that it's suggesting an ending or a separation. But it describes that in the way that whatever the separation was, it didn't seem like it was entirely bad, but it's just saying it came to an end, right? In other words, it came to a close, right? Walking away seems to be the challenge or the problem. In what context is that really describing? I kind of talked about that briefly, but who knows if it's just the difficulty of leaving it be, or maybe you guys were leaving, somebody was exiting or going, or, you know, and that was creating stability problems. I'm not sure. This person heavily wonders or worries about the direction or the future of this connection between you and them. That bothers them. There's a lot of uncertainty. Could be an air sign, could be a fire sign. This person could have issues with rejection, could have issues with, you know, insecurities of some sort. What's driving those insecurities? It would suggest a lot from the situation or the past, right? Despite all of this person suggesting is defensive regarded towards you. So they're in the predicament where, how do you resolve this? Where I can't lay on my belly like a dog, but at the same time I want this, but I have to be defensive at the same time. So they're in a bit of a, I don't know, a situation, I suppose, right? And also dropping this posture would also imply they're weak, or somebody that's giving in, and this person doesn't seem to want to do that, all right? From your side, it's just straight up suggesting that you would, on the surface, see this person as somebody that you probably don't want to deal with. There's some quality issues, or they are a failed marriage partner or something like that. That's potential, right? It also implies that, like them, you would also be bothered by this person, or you would have a lot of things on your mind about them, right? But it's saying, feelings-wise, with the Six of Cups, just remember it's Cups energy too, there's a lot of past good times between you and this person that do drive feelings towards them. In other words, all is not lost, all right? But you can have that, but it's saying that your logic, and this the part here that is more relevant, is it's saying that your logic is overriding the emotions, all right? Which tells us that there's a reason for that. In other words, like, I might care about this person or still have interest romantically, but I can't. So there's clearly a reason why you can't, and that's something to do with this Hierophant reversed. So, wow, that reading was a bit longer than usual. Thanks for watching. That's what I got for you, Virgo. Good luck to you. All right. Don't know what this person's going to do. I have no idea. All right. Sometimes I can tell you, but in this case, I don't know. They just seem to be bothered. They're showing up as like an indirect manifestation because of the fact they keep thinking about you. Which Virgo does that apply to? What a crazy situation. Like a virgin, touched by the very first time. Leo. All right. Bargain tigers, discount tigers, regular lions, Easter tigers. Well, I guess Easter's over, but tell me about the person oh my god, not Sagittarius. Why am I that's like the second time now I've been stuck in Sagittarius. I guess their readings rubbed off on me. Tell me about the mystery person for our Leos. Who is this person? What can we know? What can I know? What can Sagittarius know? So we have the Six of Wands. It's kind of an unusual description. Likely it's suggesting this is a person that wants something to work between the both of you. Tell us about this person that wants something to work between them and Leo. What is in their general energy towards Leo? Do have the Seven of Cups. I'll take that. What is in their general energy? So we have Five of Swords. What else? So this... Ten of Wands. So this person is feeling like there's a bit of a setback between the both of you. This person is also wondering if there's some type of issue that you guys had that may have caused some type of confusion or a setback. In other words, in plain English, something happened between the both of you that caused now a delay between you and this person. Like a factor, a modifying factor made things harder between both of you. How could this potentially look in real life? You, them, doing well, and then somebody decides to get very wasted or overly intoxicated and then make themselves look like a total fool and say a bunch of things that they later regret in the morning. Well, maybe you weren't too fond of what they said or how they acted or something like that. That can cause a bit of setbacks because it can take someone or certain people to step back a bit and be like, let me reevaluate whether I actually want this. Granted, it was a mistake, but some people don't really write off those kinds of things very easily. You know, some people are more forgiving, and I said this in another reading. You get those people that are more forgiving, and others that are not so much. What is this Ten of Wands? How does that relate to Leo? How does the Ten of Wands and this person's general energy relate to Leo? Wow. And it says the Five of Swords the second time. Actually, we'll keep using this deck. What is the significance of Five of Swords towards Leo? Wow, look at that. Now it says you're defensive or guarded towards this person. So this message immediately describes a scenario where it's now a Leo that, with this queen being upright, tells us one important thing. It says that you're not entirely closed off to communication with this person. You're just more wary. If this was reversed, it'd be different. But it's saying, I think we cut out there for a brief moment. So let me just repeat this, because I know when it cuts off, sometimes it cuts off a bit of my words. It's suggesting with this Five of Swords that you're not closed off to this person. You're willing to talk or be open to communication, but again, you're a bit more defensive, or you're playing a bit of a detective, like you're cautious. All right. So this tells me that between you and this person, you had some type of issue that occurred that put you in this energy, where now you're a bit guarded towards them. It's also implying that if there was some type of love or romance, that's reversed now. So this is suggesting there's confusion now being sewed into the situation. And it's also, again, made things much harder. This person wants something to work. Remember, between you and them. Interesting. How does this person see Leo? This mystery person. It says Two of Pentacles. So they're seeing things as just fine right now. Stable. So in other words, things are not getting worse. This can also just tell us about neutrality. If this mystery person came around, actually no. What is the challenge between this person, this mystery person, and Leo? What is the challenge? It's got a king that's reversed here. Challenge, it says death. So this is important, what it's saying here. It's saying that with death, if whatever this was, it's saying the challenge is letting that be in the past, all right? Death can talk about that even if there was wreckage, problems, failures, things that just unexpectedly didn't go the right way. In order to start fresh, you gotta put those to bed. You gotta close it, resolve it, all right? But also with death, it's very important because it also suggests that it's not just about putting things in the closet and forgetting about them or sweeping it under the rug, because as far as death is concerned, that doesn't really actually resolve it. It's just you burying it, which, if that happened, would just cause death to be reversed. So the upright is suggesting actual resolution and then putting it to bed. In other words, we've figured it out, This could be like a boss, for example, that is talked really like it was a real bastard or something like that to one of the employees that was really working hard. Or maybe this boss felt that this person really wasn't working or doing all the work that they wanted them to do or something like that. And then maybe they go, so they're giving this person a hard time, keeping all of that going. And this other person that's being targeted is feeling like, wow, it's really unfair, right? But then the boss checks on the security camera and finds out that the boss was wrong. The person actually was doing all of that, right? Well, there's one of two things this person can do. They can go to that person and wholeheartedly say, you know what? I'm so sorry. I got the wrong impression because I heard somebody telling me something about you and I thought it was true and blah, blah, blah. I just want to say that I kind of checked into it, looked into it, and it's not true. All right, let's start fresh. On the other hand, this boss can just be a real dick and just say, I don't want to make myself look like I'm wrong, so I'll just sweep it under the rug. Okay, well, then there's still that lingering problem. So it's kind of implying like the challenge right now is whatever this was between a Leo and this person, some type of situation that wasn't so good, it didn't go so well, that needs to be resolved. if this person came around to Leo unexpectedly, how would Leo see this person? Says the moon. Wow. You would have a lot of doubts, uncertainty, or be wary to this person. What is this person hiding? Says they're not, the star reversed. So again, this person hasn't healed through something, or they're not over something. Again, implying back that this, what's going on is death reversed, technically, is what it's saying. It's just whatever happened in the past, and look at that, the Lovers is reversed, and this Knight of Pentacles reversed here. So, what have we got overall here, in summary here? You have a person here that is still lingering from something that happened in the past. In other words, they're not over it, alright? To me, from how the energy looks, Leo, it's describing almost potentially a singular event or something that must have been significant enough that caused an ending between the both of you, alright? There's no ways, that this is the issue with tarot, there's no ways for me to isolate exactly what this is about, alright? Five of Swords can talk about mind games, but that's very generalized. You know, it's normally one person wins, one person gets their way. It's oftentimes a loss for everybody. It's not a cohesion card. It's somebody that can sometimes be being greedy, but it can also talk about an individual that gets very upset, or they take things personally or something like that, and it's like, I'm going to get revenge. I'm going to get my way, and I don't really care what the damage or the cost is going to be, as long as I get my way. That's why it can be described as a loss, not just for them, but for everybody, because they literally trash the whole situation to make themselves feel better. Alright? Am I saying it was that extreme? No. I just don't know what would have caused such energy like that, especially to put a Leo on guard. Because I would imagine that it might have suggested at one point you guys were actually doing quite well, but not anymore. And it's actually even showing that things are stalled or delayed. This person's aware of it. This person seems to want something to work. That's kind of suggesting here. The challenge is being able to make that a reality. But it's almost implying that because something from the past keeps lingering, or there's some type of position around that, or stands towards whatever happened, or how that happened. Maybe this could have been more than one event, but who knows. Alright, this person seems to also show confusion or uncertainty in their energy. Alright? They're aware that it's made things much harder between you and them. Alright? If this person came around, it also suggests you still would be in a wary stance towards them. So this Queen is, I don't know. Alright? So, one would ask the final question, why is this person showing this energy? It's because it's suggesting somewhere in this mess, they still would like something to work out between the both of you. But how do you get past this issue it's suggesting? I don't know. Alright. Could be a partner that, you know, again, you had a bit of a roller coaster with, trying to deal with them. But the problem is we don't know what your side of the equation was, Leo. So, what was your role in all this? Highly doubtful it was an angel role, you know. Both sides typically have their own issues they bring to the table. Good luck to you. I was a saint, Wes. That's all you need to know. Cancer. How are all the crab people doing? I hope you're having a buttery day. Tell us about the mystery person for our Cancers. Who is this person? What can we know? What can I know? What can Cancer know? I also want to take that 2 of Cups. Take that. Wow, it's 10 of Swords. Take that too. This could have been a person immediately that you had quite a bad ending with. This 10 of Swords came to a grinding halt, or an ending. What else can we know about this mystery person for the sign of Cancer? One more card. We have 2 cards here. I don't want to really take this, but we have the Queen of Wands reversed here and the 8 of Cups reversed. So this Queen of Wands here is going to be Cancer. So this is suggesting that you, Cancer, have come back to the situation more than once. Alright? With this 8 of Cups reversed, it also implies that there may have been some reluctancy to even come back to the situation, but for some reason you still did it. Which means that you were getting something from it. No, I wasn't, Les. Well, that's what it's saying. Okay? That's what it's saying. But whatever the case is, this suggesting it didn't end well. Okay? 2 lovebirds, no longer. What is in this person's general energy towards Cancer? Alright, you have the Hierophant, which is good. And what else? So this person still sees similarities between both of you. Could have also been interest in a long-term commitment. So you have a Page here that's reversed in their energy. Suggests this person still watches you. Well, I'm not saying like stalkerish, but they're still keeping tabs on you, potentially. There's still nosy curiosity. Normally with the reversal of the Page, the problem when a lot of people wonder why do terrorists sometimes describe this as somebody that's being watching or spying on you, all right? The reason is because the Page being reversed is oftentimes a brat. They don't really respect people's privacy. When they want to know something, they're just going to do it, right? So it kind of gets that impression that they're spying on somebody, all right? It's also somebody that just wants to eavesdrop, which again is not always respectful because you like give them some privacy. You don't need to know. You don't need to know that. Nobody invited you, all right? So there's clearly some curiosity from this person, but it doesn't tell us much other than that. What else is in this person's energy towards Cancer? This mystery person for Cancer. What is in their general energy? It says 4 of Wands reversed. So this person does reflect on the problems between you and them. So when you guys were together, you and them, they're reflecting on the instability or the separation of the breakup, which also shows up in their description. So, twice, suggesting that this person has a focus on that. Why would that happen? Because something's bothering them. Evidently, they don't want to be on the floor, it suggests. Just kidding. Looks like when you said you're going to get them back, you really meant it, huh, Cancer? Like you had those swords in formation. Jesus. Just kidding. At least the flowers are growing. I guess they got some fertilizer. How does this person see Cancer currently? This person still has interest in you. We have the Ace of Cups, so this can talk about new romantic beginnings or somebody that still has a heart open for a Cancer. Translation, I'm not done with you. If this person was to come around to Cancer, how would Cancer see them? If this mystery person popped up, made an appearance to Cancer, or wanted to, or just even if this person is talking with Cancer, how does Cancer view them? Just says Three of Wands. Clarified Three of Wands. Why would Cancer see them like that? Because this is almost implying somebody that you know wants to move things forward with you. Or waiting, potentially. So we have this three off. You got double threes. So we got some Six of Swords energy going on here. But this is suggestive here, somebody that, once again, is almost implying, well, I was almost going to take this too, this Knight of Wands here. Actually, I will. This could imply somebody that you, again, still believe in some ways has interest in you, Cancer, but for some reason you are not taking action towards them. All right? Because Three of Pentacles can be somebody that wants to work with you or connect again. It's a teamwork card. It's a cohesion card. Three of Wands can be pushing things forwards past the two. So you've got somebody here that's interested, wants to push things forwards, but for some reason a Cancer that's not sharing that same interest. So keep in mind that when I also say this, this is how you would see them if they came around. So we don't even know, again, that's the mystery in the tarot here, is we don't even know what their status is towards you. For some of you, you could be talking with this person loosely, and others of you are not. Wow, we got Two of Wands reversed here, coming out here. With this Knight being here and this Two of Wands here, again, it keeps, in my opinion, showing a Cancer that would be just, it's like you wouldn't be jumping towards this person. You're like, I don't really know if I'd be interested in you, but I don't think you would be revealing that to them. You would be kind of keeping it like, I don't know if it's like, I don't want to say stonewalling, but you might try stall things. What is the challenge between Cancer and this person? Why would Cancer be standoffish to this person? Wow, you've got three, and you have a Tower reversed here. So this is telling us immediately that one of the driving reasons, it's saying it in this reading, whether it's true or not, it's saying that a Cancer that is standoffish to this person is because there's been past disappointment or pain or breakups, and this Tower reversed tells us that at some point in time there was a major blowout or something that ended between the both of you. Alright, but the reversal suggesting going back to that, revisiting something that you already got towered or didn't work. Alright? So this is like a Cancer that's treating this situation, in my opinion, as a hot potato. In other words, you may have curiosity for that potato, and perhaps you do want to have mashed potatoes. But you're already like, I already know if I pick up that potato, I'm going to get burned. So worth getting burned just to mash it? I don't know. That was a really pretty good example if you ask me. Or at least my opinion. But do you want mashed potatoes or not? Just kidding. Overall, Cancer, here's my impression here. Alright. This reading is describing a person that it seems like you and them must have had a connection at some point that wasn't just a short-lived connection, because the tarot actually suggests something important, which we went over earlier, that you've been back to the connection more than once. Okay? Which tells us that even when it ended, you made the decision to go back to it. Which meant that you did value it. Because clearly if you didn't, you wouldn't have gone back to it. Right? The problem is that you had left the situation it's suggesting, which means that for some reason it wasn't working then, and even when you went back to it, it still didn't work. So there's some existing problem. That's what that tells us. This also tells us, confirms that there was some type of disappointment or frustration that was going on. In other words, as much as you wanted it to be a certain way, it just wasn't. Bummer. Despite all of that, you've still got somebody that keeps tabs on you. Right? They keep reflecting on the problems of the relationship. And why would they be doing that? Because it's telling us that as much as there has been issues, it's saying that this person is aware of those issues and trying to understand why they're occurring. In other words, turns out I can't ignore these issues. I have to address them. Right? Now, some of you are like, good. But the problem is that this person may not know how to address that, because they may potentially view that some of the issues that come from your side as well, right? You know, at least from my experience in tarot, you know, doing personal readings and all this kind of stuff done over the years, it's like 90% of the time the other side is always wanting to view themselves as, I didn't do anything, I was perfect the entire time, which is rarely ever true, all right? It sounds to me like the ending to this potential connection in the past wasn't the greatest, right, on either side. This person seems to have interest to want to restart things again. But what would that mean? It would mean coming back a third or a fourth or a fifth time, I don't know. When we look at your side, it's almost like if this person came around is suggesting you already know why they're there and what they want. In other words, they want to fix things. We can do it again. But it's saying that your interest towards that is uncertain. So my prediction is that, yes, this person will potentially come back around. This is what's driving it, right? But has this person learned anything? Who knows? It shows that they're reflecting on the failures of the past. This is another driving factor, is that they still feel that there is either qualities about you and them that are synergistic. In other words, you see eye to eye on certain things. That's the familiarity, all right? It's also important. This person, if you have kids with this person, is an even bigger driving reason. The potential for marriage. Maybe this person feels that you and them should have been married, or it was going that direction. I don't know. It's kind of a interesting read, but that's what I got for you, Cancer. Good luck to you, all right? They just want their crab with their butter. Yeah. I miss those days. It was so good. Mashed potatoes, crab, and butter. Actually sounds pretty good, if you ask me. Gemini. I hope all the Geminis are doing fantastic. Tell me about a mystery person for the sign of Gemini. Who is this person? What can we know? What can I know? What can Gemini know? What can we know about this person? This is the Ten of Wands. This is a person that's dealing with a lot or has a lot on their plate. They seem to be enjoying life, thrilled. All right. In relation to you, it could be suggestive that this person has, I don't know, had a lot of difficulties with you. So I've got this Four of Cups. I'm going to take that. Also some disappointments about the past. Or they struggled to get anywhere with you. I don't know. What is in this person's general energy? This person is being described as the 10 of Wands towards Gemini. So I have this 2 of Pentacles. We got Capricorn energy, and you also have Judgment in the reverse. What else is in this person's energy towards Gemini? Nothing. It's saying nothing. We have a Queen here. That's going to be you. So I think this person still has interest towards you romantically. Mystery person for Gemini. What is in their energy towards Gemini? Nothing. It doesn't want to give me anything else. Tell us about 2 of Pentacles in relation to Gemini. Card comes out. So this person's wondering here about the current situation between you and them. There seems to be like things are neutral between you and them right now, but they don't really know, like they feel it's up in the air. With Judgment being reversed, there's a concern that you and them won't be a thing again, or it's not going to start again. I think they want to. How does this person see Gemini? This mystery person, how do they currently see Gemini? Wow, I cannot get nothing from that deck. You're being useless today. Go in the timeout corner. There we go. So you have 3 of Cups here. This person may get the sense, Gemini, that you are doing one of 2 things. You're either just enjoying yourself with people, you're happy with what you're doing right now. This card can also talk about dating and other suitors, all right? Where do you go to go? Well, it's not always the case, but in some sense, you can go, for example, to the nightlife, you know, whether it's going to events, festivals, bars, clubs, pool halls, whatever it is, meetups of some sort, but you're socializing, you're meeting other people, all right? And that can lead to dating, all right? So this person, whether this is actually going on or not, this person may not know, but they're getting a sense that potentially you are either have other people in the picture, or there's potentially other people that you are seeing or anything like that. But that's the big problem, is they don't know. They're speculating. So this person's seeing you potentially doing that. They may just automatically assume that that's something that you're doing. What is the issue around Judgment reverse? Why does this person feel that things won't start between them and Gemini? It says 2 of Cups reverse. So evidently your connection with this person is absent. Alright? So this tells us that at some point, you and this person had a good connection. That could have been a relationship romantically, or you were friends with this person in some ways. But it's suggesting that it's divided. It's not there anymore. Doesn't mean to say that you dislike this person or you hate this person or something like that, but it's talking, again, loosely about something that has become estranged. In other words, your interest has waned, Gemini, from this person. Right? So, while this person sees things as neutral between the both of you, which is important, because it tells us that this is likely an individual that you're not, you know, some of the other reads kind of suggested some more nefarious or something that was not so good that happened between their person and whatever. In this case, it's not saying that. It's saying that you're just simply at odds, things are just fine between the both of you. It doesn't suggest anything chaotic or crazy, but it's almost saying like they're a background story. You're not seeing this person as someone they're not on your radar. All right. So what this almost appears like is that this person came into the picture, their status towards you must have been a lot higher, but for some reason it's now gone down. So this person's almost wondering, they're wondering possibly about if you're going to come back around or not. Is that it? That's the energy I'm getting. To see them kind of making also, this is important because it also tells us that there's some concern about past things not going the way that they should have. I wish it would have maybe been different. Or maybe I should have done this. Or maybe, wonder why Gemini wasn't, doing this or doing that, or if Gemini had this going on and that's why they weren't interested. I don't know. This can also suggest if only something was different. Wanting reality to be different than it is. What if this person came around to Gemini currently? How would Gemini see them? Wow, shows them as a King of Wands. So quite assertive, interesting. So it's almost like you would know that it's suggesting know why this person is there. How would Gemini feel collectively? If we ask the general collective energy of the Geminis dealing with this kind of situation, how would they feel towards this king showing up? How would they feel about this mystery person, this king showing up? It says Wheel of Fortune and Nine of Pentacles reversed. This is almost like saying the timing just wouldn't be good. What would be the challenge between Gemini and this mystery person? It says getting it started. The Page of Wands is reversed here. And then it says the timing isn't right. Why is this person saying a start wouldn't be possible? What is causing this blocking? What is causing this setback? So I have out and bad times here. Why would it say Wheel of Fortune reversed from Gemini's standpoint? What can we know about that? It says Two of Wands reversed. You can't make a decision, or you cannot choose right now. What the fuck? Why would it be suggesting a Gemini that can't make a choice, or something like that, or is unable to? I'm kind of stumped on that. I don't know what that would be. What is this person hiding from Gemini? So it says the Empress. This person has a lot of interest towards you. All right. Here's my final impression here, Gemini. This mystery person, to me, is kind of a bizarre, unusual kind of... I just don't really know what their true status is in the past towards you. All right. Either this was somebody that you did date or you didn't date. It's unclear. All right. But it seems, as I kind of pointed out earlier, the spark, the interest, it waned or it faded for some reason. All right. Not only did it wane or fade, but it's almost implying that it came to, like, it just stopped entirely. Like you and them were not proceeding with anything else other than just whatever you guys were, like maybe just a loose connection or something like that. All right. This person's showing that interest. Where are things at now? what's Gemini doing? Well, according to them, they kind of feel that you're entertaining other options potentially. Whether that's actually going on or not, who knows? But I'm pretty sure they don't know what you're doing. All right? Showing that there's still some interest towards you in what they're hiding. The challenge is suggesting that this has a problem with starting for some reason, or it keeps failing to start. All right? This person and how you see them even shows up as somebody that you would think you would be interested in. But it's suggesting almost from your side that, well, it's just not the right time right now. Which isn't, it's suggesting maybe Geminis that are in situations where they're dealing with other things, or they would prefer that their situation was better. Maybe you want your body to look a different way, like, oh, it's just not, I don't want them to see me like this, or something like that. Or maybe you are getting ready to move, or you're not, your confidence isn't where you want it to be. I don't know, maybe you've got other factors. You're dealing with a divorce, you're dealing with something else. There's a million reasons, right? So, but I don't know, there seems to be a lot of like mixed kind of signals or something going through here. So I'm not sure what to make of this. This person seems to want to come around to you, but it's not showing direct energy that they are going to come around to you. It's just showing that they are trying to understand this situation and where you are and they're at. I don't know. Good luck to you, Gemini. That's what I got for you, okay? So you definitely got a mystery person here. So I can't really figure out what their motives are towards you. They have interest, but that's about it. Taurus. Alright, tell me about a mystery person for the sign of Taurus. Who is this person? What can we know? What can I know? What can Taurus know? Mystery person for the sign of Taurus. It says a King of Swords reversed. Okay, so this is somebody that is not talking with you, or somebody that is intentionally blocked you, or whatever. Alright. This reversal of the king can tell us somebody that, again, may have reasons why they're doing that, or it can suggest stubbornness, it can suggest irritation, it can suggest somebody that's just, in general, just has no communication with you. Alright. So that's Ace of Wands here, so I wonder if there has been past interest to try and talk, but I don't know. Tell us about this person that may potentially not be talking with Gemini. What is in their general energy towards the sign of Taurus? It says Queen of Wands, that's going to be you, so that is suggesting they're aware that your behavior is lacking, or you're not taking any action, or you're not doing anything. Alright? The Queen of Wands, especially when she's reversed, keep in mind, she's Wands energy. So normally she would be, out of all the queens, she's the most active queen. In the tarot, most of the time the queens and the kings don't do anything. The only two that actually may get off their throne and do something when they want something are the Wands, the King of Wands or the Queen of Wands. Alright, but the reversal of this card can suggest that, yeah, she's not doing that today. She's not taking much action, or there's a lack of motivation, a lack of interest. Alright, what are these here? No, I'm not going to take those. Alright, what else is in this person's general energy towards Taurus? So we have the Five of Swords, it's reversed here, so that does suggest that there was problems between the both of you. Alright, but their energy is suggesting a resolution of that, or an ending of that. Alright. How does this person see Taurus, this mystery person? For Taurus, how do they see Taurus? I do have this confusion here. I wonder if there's uncertainty. So we have the 10 of Pentacles. So this person is seeing you as, I mean, I don't know what context, but this card does describe the home. Oh no, it's reversed here. Sorry. It's kind of hard to tell with how this card looks at a distance, but it's actually reversed. I thought it was upright. So this is suggesting they see you as something that was long-term, that's ended. Alright? This card can also, you can notice here, there's the king. There's like a lot of families, the dogs, there's like an established home and everything like that, which tells us that in connections that it wasn't a short-term thing, there was establishment there. But the reversal is saying that that came to an end. Shop closed, things moved out, it's done. Right? So they see you as somebody that they must have had some time and investment in, but that has come to a close. We also have Devil reverse show up here and the 6 of Wands. So this is almost like a successful... So Devil reverse is good here, but it does suggest kind of, again, closure or an ending of a cycle that was sometimes not so good. But it's showing like overcoming that. So... there could have been problems that led to the ending of those. Just to state the obvious. Why is the Queen of Wands reversed? Card comes out. Says the Fool reversed. So this is showing a queen here. It's saying, when I'm asking essentially why is it saying your energy is reversed, it's saying the Fool reversed, which is either somebody that doesn't want to take a chance, doesn't want to take a risk, or is seeing the situation as not worth the effort. Alright. What is the challenge between Taurus and this person? Says the 2 of Pentacles. It's saying the challenge is things are too up in the air or unstable between the both of you. Alright. With this card being reversed, it's talking about that there's too many factors or things that are being floated about, right? Either that's responsibilities or things necessary to maintain a connection, but things start, because either there's too much going on, but it gets to the point where things are being dropped, alright? The ball is being dropped, alright? Which can suggest that either there's efficiency problems, two people that aren't, you know, seeing eye to eye. You know, if you got a well-oiled operation, things will go smooth, even if it gets hectic or crazy. But it's saying in this case, when that happens, it doesn't work well. All right. So this can maybe suggest that there's priorities clashing with each other. Communication could be erratic at points. You know, you can imagine, for example, if it's like running a nuclear reactor or something like that, and then the communication from the one guy's telling the other guy comes in 30 minutes late, and that was important information. The other guy's like, what the fuck? Now this, you know, whole thing is going to melt down. If this person came around to Taurus, wow, card already comes out. We got the sun here. I'm going to take that. If this person came around to Taurus, this mystery person, how would Taurus see them? Nothing. How would Taurus see this mystery person if they came around? Or how would Taurus turn to them? Wow, it says the Devil. You know, evidently, I just find it odd that both of you seem to have an opinion that both of you were not. This was a connection of some sort that wasn't healthy, or there was attachment or obsession or something around that. Right? You may also see this person as a bit of a player, or that they're there for the wrong reasons, Taurus. Who knows what the reason is, but the irony in all of this is that even if this is true, this person is viewing that, as far as they were concerned, they escaped that situation from you. How odd. So, kind of odd, because it's like both are in the same energy, but both are seeing it differently. So, that's probably where this came out. This problem here. Communication could have been a very big problem here. What is this person hiding from Taurus? This mystery person. Saying 3 of Wands in the reversed. So it's actually saying that even though that this person has moved on from this, it still bothers them. How does Taurus feel towards this? In general, how would Taurus feel towards this mystery person? General collective Taurus, what would it suggest feelings are? Still shows interest. Interesting. Here's my final opinion here, Taurus. This seems to me like a connection that potentially got together between you and this person. This mystery person is somebody that must have had some type of unusual kind of relationship with you or connection. All right. This devil can also talk about unusual situations where there was unhealthy things that were going on, whether that was drug abuse, alcohol abuse, is just some potentials. It can also suggest unorthodox relationships, but it can talk about tumultuous or crazy kind of connections that are just very stressful or unusual. Can talk about like these situations that have reoccurring problems that don't get resolved, but both people are still dealing with it. Just things like that. Just like there's just like an unending list of potentials there. All right, but it's almost implying that whoever this person was engaged with you. Why do those connections typically go on? You can talk about because there is love or there is interest for a period of time, or both people are feeding off of things that they get from the other person, where they can't find those qualities in somebody else, so they perpetuate the situation. All right. There could be other insecurities going on. Now, I know that sounds like a basket case kind of situation, but look, not every connection that people come across is diamonds and pearls, although we kind of wish they were. This is just simply describing some situation that had some type of weird dynamic going towards it. All right. But what it is saying now is that while that did occur at some point, it's saying like a Taurus that stopped. You're no longer putting that energy towards it. All right, so you must have collected your senses at some point and realized it no longer was serving you. You don't want to deal with it anymore. All right. The challenge, as I said, seems to be like it's an unstable connection, is what it's implying through the tarot. All right. This person, the odd thing about this whole reading is that they almost feel in some ways that this was a challenge for them and they overcame it. But oddly enough, when you see them, you're still seeing them as that problem. So it's confusing because if you were to ask, how it's almost saying is that if we were to ask a Taurus about this person, they would say that they were the worst person or they had this problem, they were the source of the problems. But if you were going to ask this person, they would say that you were the problem. Crazy. Anyways, It's suggesting behind closed doors and the feelings that this is a Taurus that, despite what is shown here, would still have interest in this person. Doesn't mean to say you're opening the door and, you know, making dinner for them and doing all this kind of stuff, but it's still showing some interest towards this person. This person also has some interest, but it also suggests that this queen is hesitant or reluctant or doesn't want to really put much effort towards this. Again, probably because of this. Alright? What an unusual reading. It does almost imply that you and this person had some type of connection that could have been quite close for a while, but that came to an end. Alright. Just, I don't know, bizarre reading. So, that's what I got for you, Taurus. Alright? Sounds like, you've got some, you know, whatever. I don't even know what to describe them. Both of you are kind of resisting this odd connection. I'm not entirely, and that's the other thing I meant to say, is I'm not entirely sure what this person's wanting to do when it comes to you, if they're going to try and do something. It just shows a lot of frustration. Aries, you are the last sign. Tell me about, oh, we've got cards coming out already. Tell me about the mystery person for the sign of Aries. Who is this person? What can we know? What can I know? What can Aries know? What can we know? Mystery person for Aries. This is somebody that's describing wants to connect with you. Alright? Kickstart something. This card can describe lust, interest in sexual encounters. It can talk about somebody that has attraction towards you, wants to, doesn't want to just, they don't want to just talk. They want to do something more than just talk. Like go out on a date, hang out with each other. What is in this person's general energy? The person that's being described as Ace of Wands, this mystery person. What is in their general energy towards Aries? Card comes out. It says Ten of Swords reversed. And what else? Take that here. So we have this Ten of Swords reversed, which tells us that whoever this individual is somebody that came out of something or got over something that was not so good for them. This can talk about difficult endings, all right, with Ten of Swords. The question is, was it with you or somebody else? All right. If it was related to you, it would imply that it was in the past. In other words, not recent. It was way in the past. It could have been a not so good ending. All right, but it's over. The worst part is over. But this Ace of Swords reversed also suggests a lack of clarity, uncertainty, or there's a lack of communication. All right. So questions without answers, or things are uncertain. In other words, they could be viewing your situation and maybe they can see your Facebook or your Instagram profile and they're just speculating what you're up to. Is Aries with somebody right now? I don't know. Don't know. Maybe this person could have even reached out to you, but you didn't really give them a strong answer as to what's going on with your situation. So, have you been seeing anybody lately? You know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. What does that mean? How does this person view or see Aries currently? This mystery person. So they see you as Six of Pentacles reversed, not doing much towards them or not willing to give much. Right? Holding back. Alright. Six of Pentacles reversed can also suggest an individual that is sometimes wary about giving too much or doing much because of the fact that they're concerned about being taken advantage of. Alright? It may not, so it doesn't always have to be someone just being greedy or something like that. It doesn't always have to mean that. It can just simply suggest somebody's like, well, I don't want to be taken advantage of, so I'm not, I don't do that, and I'm not going to be whatever. So this person seeing an Aries like this. It's also possible that maybe it's just to this person. Other people you're quite open with. What does the Ace of Swords reverse suggest towards Aries? So we have the Queen of Wands reversed. So it's going to be your energy. So this person is uncertain whether you're going to be interested towards them or not. Alright, the reversal of this Queen suggests likely you're not. You're showing, either you're indirectly displaying these qualities to them or you're intentionally showing them these qualities. In other words, I don't have much interest in you. Alright? The problem with the Queen being reversed is it shows low effort, low energy. Even if you do have interest towards this person, the fact that it's showing you in this energy implies that this person's not receiving it well. Right? It also says Nine of Swords, so this could imply it could be an Aries that's suggesting as to why they're in the reversal is because they overthink or overworry or overcomplicate something. Is that all of you? No, but it's just giving us a clue. All right. You could be, you may talk yourself out of something or overthink it. Like maybe I shouldn't. Maybe because what happened the last time. I don't want to find out. Maybe it's just better. And I've got this going on, and I don't know if this would be a good idea right now. It's like before you even try it, you already talk yourself out of it. And this is how they were, so don't want to take a chance on that. So this could be an Aries that is wanting to find love, but maybe when it comes to this person, there's just too much hesitancy or doubt or things holding you back because maybe you don't trust them. I don't know. If this person was to come around, this mystery person already is engaged to Aries, how does Aries see them? Or would see them? General collective. Says world. Interesting. Tell us more about the world. Says Ace of Swords. And how would Aries feel? General collective Aries towards this person. How would Aries feel towards this person? It says there's resistance there. Why is world energy there? On Aries' side. Judgment. It seems like your position, Aries, is already set in stone towards this person. Tell us about the Ace of Swords. Why would Aries see them as that? Since someone you're over with already. Here's my final impression for this reading, Aries. The problem with this reading is that it's implying that you have somebody that's interested in you, all right? Their energy actually shows the most basic card, which is an opportunity card, meaning that where they're at is ground zero. So the only thing that they can really do is to try interest you or to show some, you know, if this was to go anywhere, would be to try and first figure out where you're at and if you're interested in taking a wand, all right? The problem that is being seen in this reading, though, is it's an Aries with a low interest, or an Aries that is intentionally holding back, which it strongly suggests is on an Aries side that's causing this delay, all right? Now, what is the exact reason for that? Either you have low interest towards this person, or two, you already made some type of declaration to yourself that to this particular person, I'm just not giving much, all right? Why is that? Maybe this person's past behavior tripped you up, or you don't like, you have your doubts, or you have your concerns about what you've seen with this person before. This is if it's a past person. It's no ways to know if this is an ex or not. So if it's a new person, this could also suggest an Aries that's just, again, wary to this person, could be concerned about this person's motives. You may not trust it. I don't really know. All right. This person seems to be unsure about why you're in this position. All right. Again, this Ten of Wands is Ten of Swords is the only clue here that could suggest potentially an ex-partner, but it's not entirely clear because it's possible this person came out of something themselves. I don't know. All right. It almost implies an Aries that really kind of knows their position when it comes to this person. That this is somebody you potentially got over, which also supports the potential it's an ex-partner of some sort. But it also, here's the problem, can also suggest that you have come out of something that was quite negative and you just don't want to deal with something right now, which would make sense. So, for example, this is like an Aries that dated, went through some situation that was not so good, or you just put in a lot of time or something, and now it's like, you know what, I'm just not looking for anybody right now, all right? Because I just came over something that was kind of upsetting, and I just don't want to deal with something again, all right? You may have made it clear to this person, if this is a new person, then you're just doing you right now, all right? And again, it shows a bit of resistance towards this person, so that's the real question in this reading. Is it an ex or is it a new person? But it's showing either or an Aries that's resistant towards this person. What is this person hiding from Aries? Says Three of Cups. What does that mean for Aries? Three of Cups. Wow, we've got this. What we got here? We got Four of Wands and the Three of Wands reversed here. So this kind of suggests here that this person this is a person that has been wanting to connect with you or do something with you. It's what's showing in what they're hiding, but it's saying they've made no progress or things haven't moved very far. All right, that's what it's suggesting they're hiding, which is showing why this interest is here. All right. What is the challenge? Or tell us why is Aries now? Well, give us a reason why Aries is suggesting is resistant or in the reversal energy. Give me another card. What is the challenge? So it's saying Lovers. So it's saying there's a challenge or a problem for an Aries around that. How do we interpret that, Aries? Is that you're looking for someone very specific? Don't want to take any chances? It's like it's got to be the right person? Right? Lovers can directly talk about soulmates, twin flames, if you believe in that. I don't really follow that stuff, but hey, if you do, that's more power to you. All right? But that can describe somebody that you feel has to have the right match, right qualities. There's something specific you're looking for. You may be looking for this person to treat you in a certain way. Why would that be a challenge? Because it turns out it's not always that easy to find that. All right. Also being romantically open or vulnerable. That could be a challenge for some Aries because of the fact that if you've been a bit closed off, shut off, maybe you're not doing that intentionally, but the past hasn't been too pleasant to you. Well, maybe you feel like you're a bit cautious nowadays. You know, which one is going to be easier to approach in the bar? Which one's going to be easier to start something with? Be the judge of that. That's what I got for you for your reading here. Overall, there is somebody it's suggesting has interest, but it's just not making much progress with you. Who knows, Aries, what the reason is from your rationale, if that even applies to you or not. If it doesn't, that's okay. But you are my last sign, which means I'm done with this reading. So if you got something out of that reading, anything at all, please leave a like. I would really appreciate it. I think we're doing, if you're not talking with them, as the next video, but that'll probably be like in a week's time because I got work and all kinds of other stuff. So I do appreciate anybody that made it to the end. You know, for my handful of subs that actually watch the entire video, which does help my channel out quite a bit. So I do appreciate you. And thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you on the next one.